Hey guys. All right, let me just move this up here. Oh man, it's cold today on the Northeast. Car says it's 16 degrees. That is absolutely crazy. Thanks for joining. If you're new to my scopes, my name is DJ Valori. If you're watching this on the replay, I appreciate you watching. Hi, Silvana. My name is DJ Valori, and I am a serial entrepreneur. I own and operate a company I founded 15 years ago, which is a digital marketing company. And I do these scopes every so often to kind of help other solopreneurs and entrepreneurs and provide tips for them and things that I've learned the hard way, so that you don't have to learn the hard way from errors or mistakes that you're going to make as a business entrepreneur. My company now is a global company. We're a multi-million-dollar company, and we work with hotels and resorts and their digital marketing strategy, based in New Jersey. So I'm not here to sell anything or anything like that, or promote any webinars or keynotes or anything like that. Today's topic I wanted to talk about was exactly what it said in the headline, in the description. Is it okay to fire your customers? And you know, it's one of these topics that I've wanted to do for a long time on Periscope and talk about for a while on Periscope, but always been, worried, oh boy, is my customer going to see this? And, is that going to piss them off that I have that attitude that it is okay to fire customers? But you know what? It's part of doing business. And it's something I think that every entrepreneur, every business person needs to get a grip on and understand, whether it's okay to fire customers or not. We always take the stance that customers are, everything. Of course, without customers, you have no business, right? You have no sales, therefore you have no business, and you have no employees, and you have no income, right? So it's important. Hello, Patrick. So it is important, obviously, to keep customers and to have customers, and without customers, you have nothing. But is it okay to fire customers when you need to? And the answer to that question is absolutely 150% yes. It is okay to fire customers, but you have to be very careful, of course, how you do it, and make sure that you're firing them not because they're just, pissing you off or irritating you, but because they are affecting your operation and the morale of your team, the morale of the people that work on that account. So that's the only time, pretty much. Of course, if they don't pay you, of course you want to fire them. But assuming you have a customer that has been with you for a little bit of time and they are paying you, but they are belligerent to your people when you're on conference calls, they're just condescending, they never want to take advice from you, you kind of wonder why they actually contracted to work with you in the first place, right? Thanks for the heart. So that's the kind of customer that, in my opinion, is okay to basically fire. And in 15 years of running my business, I started 15 years ago, I've had to do that one time. I fired one customer who was basically, a customer who was assaulting verbally myself and my people every time we were on a call, and very unprofessional. So you don't want to deal with people like that, right? Life's too short. There's plenty of business out there. Although I know when you're starting a business, you may not think, that it's okay to fire customers because you want to get the business, right? So you'll put up with anything practically, and that's okay to do for a while. But when you get yourself established and you have a business with cash flow coming in, you want to basically look at your customer base and see who it's okay, if it's okay to fire them. If you also have low margin customers, it's okay to fire those as well. If they're just sucking out your resources, that's another reason why you want to fire those customers. So how do you fire customers? That's a great question. You fire customers by basically first having, a discussion with them and say, look, this relationship's not working with us, for us. I'm not sure if it's working for you, but here are the things that we'd like to see changed. And, you try to work it out with them first, and just tell them you're not going to put up with their vulgarities and the way they're unprofessional in working with you. And at that point, you want to basically tell them, look, things have to change, or we're just going to end this relationship. We're just not going to proceed any further. And so you first want to talk about it with them. And then you want to take action if things don't change, but give them an opportunity to change. And sometimes that makes all the difference in the world, when you just let them know how you feel and why things aren't working out, and that you'd appreciate if they actually change their tone of voice or the way they speak to you, and hash it out. Business has to work for both sides, right? It's not a one-sided thing. They don't pay you a fee and give you and get the right to basically abuse you and beat you up, right? I got a lot of Russians on here. I don't know what's going on here, but on this scope, how do you handle canceling with? How do you handle that with canceling contracts? Okay, Jay, Teresa, good question. So basically, what you want to do there, if there's a contract in place, you want to again negotiate with them and say, look, it's not working for us, and try to exit the contract gracefully. What I would do is, if someone doesn't change and they don't want to cancel the contract, which I don't know why, if you're telling them that the relationship's not working and you're saying to them, you know what, we have 1.5 years left on our agreement, but we need to part ways, we'll give you the time to find someone else to work with. So you give them the time to kind of transition, and you help them transition to a new vendor, a new partner that maybe they'll have a great relationship with. Who knows? So you can't actually just say you're not working with them anymore, because you're right, JT, you've got a contract with them, right? So you can't just walk away from that, but you can negotiate anytime. As far as refunds, depending on if the way our contracts work, they pay monthly a retainer, so we never really have money to refund. Usually it's money that they owe us. So you may at some point be willing to say, you know what, you owe us X amount of dollars. We're going to write that off, and we're going to end our relationship in 90 days. Hopefully that'll give you enough time to transition to another vendor. It's just not working for us for all the following reasons and the reasons we've discussed before. It's just not a good fit for us. So you gracefully try to get out of the agreement. And if they insist, which is a good question, if they insist and you wonder why they want to continue to work with you after you've told them that it's not working for you and your business, then at that point, what I would do is I would kind of pull back a little bit on the servicing of that account, and I would kind of let them make sure they understand that you don't want to work with them anymore. And again, it's not because you're spiteful, it's because the way they're treating you and your personnel and your staff and just the relationship that they're giving forward. So you first want to try to work it out with them. You then want to give them time to exit the agreement gracefully, find another vendor. And then thirdly, if they don't want to make a move on it, and I don't know why they wouldn't, because who wants to work with someone that doesn't want to work with you, right? Then you would basically say, when they call you, when they leave you messages, when they give you emails, just slow down on the responses. They'll get the message. Thanks for joining in. If you're joining in late, we're talking about, is it okay to fire customers? I see some people coming in now. Callan, thanks for joining. My name is DJ Valori. I run a digital marketing agency. You're welcome, Jay, Teresa. I run a digital marketing agency based in New Jersey, and we're a multi-million-dollar agency. We work with hotels. Silvana says, most think they can be abusive because there is a contract. Yeah, exactly right. And I think, more so than just the contract, I think they think because they're paying a fee that they get to control everything in the arrangement and the relationship, and they're just abusive that way and unprofessional. And there's just no time for that, right? There's plenty of business out there. So again, you want to reevaluate that. If you have a long-term agreement that also doesn't have great margins after a couple of years of running that business, you want to try to renegotiate that deal, of course, and try to get better fees for the time. Because initially, when you're an entrepreneur, right, starting out the company, you basically take any piece of business that comes your way, no matter how much money they're paying you, right? Because you want to establish yourself, you want to get some cash flow coming in so that you can grow and get better customers. But after a while, you'll notice that those customers that are paying you very little are really demanding of your time, and they kind of control the relationship that really benefits them one way versus a mutual business relationship. So you want to, start weeding out as you progress with your business and you grow your business year after year. I'm not saying, within the first 3 months, but after you've got a good steady flow of business coming in, then stop taking that, BS business, I call it, that you're just filling in and, taking the low-hanging fruit, if you will, like they say in sales. Go after the low-hanging fruit, the easy stuff. You want to stop taking that kind of business after a while, because it's just going to eat up all your resources, and focus on the really good business opportunities where there's a good relationship, you can provide value, they see the value that you're providing, and they're just pleasant people to work with, right? Life's too short, so just make it happen for yourself, and go out and focus on business that's going to make a difference for you and your team at the company. So I hope you enjoyed this tweet. If you really like the tweet, please share it, and make sure you follow me on Periscope. I do these scopes a couple of times a week, and I will be back later on in the week with some more scopes. Got some exciting news this week. I'll be in New York City at the Adrian Awards. We're receiving an Adrian Award, which is like an Oscar in the hotel travel business. Tuesday I'll be getting that. Is it wise to accept the low-hanging fruit in slow times? So yeah, absolutely. Look, you got to do what you have to do, right, to grow your business. And if you're in need of cash flow and it's really slow, go out and get some low-hanging fruit. Because at the end of the day, you've got to put food on the table, right, for yourself and your family. So put your pride aside, make it happen, close some business. That business will actually help you to learn. We learn with every business, every customer that we work with. And the next customers that we take on, we're all the wiser, right? Because we've learned from all of the other experiences we've had with customers. So there's no downside initially when you're starting out or when you're very slow in taking that business. I would definitely take it. Make sure that it's not a multi-year agreement so that you can at least renegotiate fees and get out of the agreement after, let's say, 6 months or a year when things turn around for you. So always be thinking, this piece of business, I want to close it. I've been working on it for a while. They've really squeezed me for pricing. There's no margin left. I'm making very little. But is it going to provide cash flow to you? Is it going to provide good feelings for the company and the employees of the company? Maybe you haven't closed a piece of business in a while. Maybe it's your own business and it's just you, and you want to close that piece of business just to give yourself some credit and recognition. So I would definitely take that business if you're slow and needing the cash flow, but don't make it a long-term deal. But that was a great question. Thank you for participating with that question. If anybody else has any questions on just general business, please let me know as well. Like I said, I do these scopes a couple of times a week. I run a multi-million-dollar digital agency. I started with nothing. But I will tell you, I always say my overnight success has taken me 30 years, right? So while I started the business with nothing in my extra spare bedroom at home, I did have 20 years or so, 15, 20 years of actual sales and marketing experience in working within the hotel hospitality industry. So it's not like I just woke up one day and say, hey, I'm going to start a business, right? You have to be able to bring value and bring some sort of skill set to the table if you're going to be in business. It's not enough to have the idea. You have to be able to execute, right, that business. And that execution level comes with experience. So not to discourage anybody, but it takes a lot more than just an idea to run a business. Senis15, thanks for joining. So if you have any questions, I like sitting in the car here because it's 16 degrees outside, and it is cold. It's nice and warm in here. Thank you for the hearts. Thanks for joining. Please follow me on Periscopes. Again, I will post this up on my Periscope channel on YouTube as well. There's a collection there of Periscopes that I've done. So have a great Saturday, everybody. I will see you guys later. Stay warm if you're in the Northeast, and thanks again for joining. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.